my name is Alexander. I'm a technical specialist at Daneliya studio. I started videography and video production as a child, and I started using computers as soon as I got one. I convinced my parents to buy me a powerful computer instead of the one I had, on the pretext that it would help me in my studies. But of course I play computer games most of the time. With the computer I desired, I took up video editing, creating graphics for videos, filming and video production. When I realized that I had to buy computer games myself, I knew I had to start making money. I decided to give video editing a try and move on to a more interesting area, creating graphics and motion design. I became an inspired motion designer from that point. Now I work as an administrator at the Kino cinema, where I oversee special projects. I communicate with the repertoire department, and together we decide which films we will show and organize a show at various art houses and independent films. When you ask moviegoers why they watch and love movies, they often give difficult answers. Their answers are the same as those I usually give about the importance of this art in the world. I feel it is an integral part of understanding oneself and the world around me. I often find it difficult to explain my love for films because it is one thing I cannot live and breathe without. If a day passes without me watching a movie, I consider it a bad day. Everyone living today exists inside the cinema, and if they look carefully, they will find themselves. As a child, it was enough for me to watch several war films and films that promote a better attitude towards others, to develop myself and grasp the essential principles that will help me in life. Oddly enough, my favorite films are mostly Soviet. They are based in the third period of the 80s, from Tarkovsky through Kalatozov, Ovchinnikov, and other directors of the time. Paradoxically, I wouldn't say I liked the Soviet cinema as a child. I think because it was imposed on me. It was a rule in my family to watch these films, because they considered it a meaningful legacy. It is the remains of our great predecessors. Art doesn't hurl itself at you abruptly. It lies on you to come to art, and it will reveal itself to you. When I started watching films and getting involved in cinematography, I suddenly abandoned American, German, and Italian cinema for my cultural Soviet and Russian films, where I found my soul. My favorite films are still Soviet films and Soviet directors like Tarkovsky, Klimov, and Kalatozov. They give birth to a new cinematography movement with a unique cinematic discovery on visual cinema as it should be. Back in the 60s, when the producers released Thor, many films which were taken from the shelves were no longer subject to harsh censorship. With these, directors were able to visually express the heights of their feelings and creativity through films. I like this period because the directors, with the help of the cameraman, were able to express their thoughts clearly. The most striking resemblance of the Thor cinematography is Mikhail Kalatozov with his film The Cranes Are Flying, in which he filmed with cameraman Sergei Rusevsky and received the Golden Palm at the Cannes Film Festival. It was a rare occurrence in the Soviet cinema. The picture was so unique and hard to describe in words. The camera techniques were extraordinary. Rusevsky specially designed the rails along which the camera moved to smooth the image and implement the director's idea. The most brilliant scene in this film was the death of the main character, played by Batalov. The bullet hit his heart and he started spinning around the tree that stood next to him. The circular rails along which the camera walked were invented for this scene. At the same time, double exposure appears when he remembers his life as he dies, clambering the stairs to his beloved. Then a triple exposure appeared as they walked together along the staircase to the registry office. There is a layer of death, a layer of memories, and a layer of his possible future, which never happens. All these things were possible thanks to Urusevsky and his innovative vision in cinema. I had to remember some scenes from films for a recent video on our YouTube channel about weddings in movies. I immediately remembered Michael Cimino's Deer Hunter, and I remembered a funny story about how I watched this movie. I came to the cinema when this film was 40 years old. All I could remember was that it was a film with Robert De Niro, filmed in the USA by an American director, Michael Cimino. I was stunned to see a traditional Russian wedding at the beginning. Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep, and other Hollywood actors sing Kalinka Malinka and dance in authentic Russian attire. In any case, the world of cinema is swamped with big and small stories, and our studio will help you create your own story.